Hey, what's going on, y'all? Welcome to a new episode of the Late Night Lake Show podcast. It is your host, Ricky, Kwame, and Omar, back still in Cancun, not enjoying one bit of what has developed into the NBA Finals. The Boston Celtics are now going to be facing the Golden State Warriors in what could be the worst case scenario for Lakers fans, LeBron fans that are now Lakers fans. It's just not good. But the Lakers, who have been doing nothing but providing us bad luck all season, did give us a ray of sunshine. Yes, it was announced before Game 7 of Celtics Heat, which, Jimmy, you let us down, brother. Knocked down the corner. You could have did it. Kwame will let you cook in a minute. It was announced that the Lakers signed Darvin Ham, the assistant from the Milwaukee Bucks, to a 4-year deal. Oh, yes, the Lakers have now gotten their head coach of the immediate foreseeable future of the franchise. So we're going to get into all things the Darvin Ham reaction, talk a little bit about the Lakers' approach for this coaching search and signing. A lot of positivity looking like in the NBA circles about the Lakers grabbing Ham. Of course, there's your mainstream media nerds who got to hate just to hate, but, you know, it's all good. So we'll talk a little bit Ham. We'll talk about this bullshit finals, who Lakers fans should be cheering for or supporting. And then we'll look a little bit into the offseason, just a smidge, and seeing what's on the horizon for the roster. So without further ado, let's just get into it, boys. Darvin the Martian Ham out of Texas Tech, breaking backboards, journeyman in the NBA, but really found his calling as an assistant coach and being under Coach Bud, who got a really strong coaching tree now. When the news came down, Omar, what was your reaction that Ham was the next Lakers head coach?
I was super excited. Out of all the coaches that they interviewed, I think it was like 8 or 9 guys. I think he's probably provides the highest potential, highest upside. And, you know I'm a big fan. He's an ex-player. He was on the 04 Pistons. He's played against Kobe. He's played against LeBron. I think he just brings, the appropriate cachet that, a lot of veteran, teams with big, like LeBron James, Anthony Davis, like superstar players, Russell Westbrook, half superstar maybe. Darvin Ham is going to bring, the appropriate presence, the right voice to the locker room. And I think that's something that was missing last year, clearly. Like, I think we said it in a bunch of podcasts last year that, like, Vogel has lost the team, the locker room, like whatever he was preaching, it just wasn't translating to games. Like, you could clearly see it. Like, he's a defensive-minded coach, Vogel, and the players weren't trying out there. And I think, Darvin Ham, he has full autonomy, which is something, like, good to see, that he'll be able to, select his coaching staff, pick like an X's and O's guys from an offensive standpoint and other guys and whatnot. So I'm super excited. I think he's exactly what the doctor ordered in terms of the team. My focus now is what the front office does to set him up for success. I know we'll definitely talk about how they can do that in a later podcast or later today, but I'm excited. I think he's going to be a really good coach.
Kwame, the news that was purposely put out there that Ham will be allowed to pick his own coaching staff is not small news, but it's still kind of sad at the end of the day that the Lakers need to put this out, that, hey, Kurt's not going to be around meddling, effing this up to your knowledge. Are you excited? Are you just shaking your head like, thank you for getting with the program, Lakers? What was your reaction to Kurt Rambis and the Lakers not meddling with Ham's coaching staff?
Man, relieved to say the least. I mean, we saw how the last season went, and again, we could tell that a lot of the Vogel criticism stemmed a lot from, both parties saying, Vogel's doing this or the front office is making him do that. I think having this autonomy for Darvin Ham is actually very important. And it seems like this is a common thing around the league, but I don't know why the Lakers decided that they needed to be a different franchise and have their front office speak into game by game coaching decisions. But no, I actually really do like the hire, and I really do like the freedom that the Lakers front office is giving them. I like that they're kind of taking a page out of, again, the bitch ass Celtics, but their hire of Ime Udoka, a presence in the locker room, a former player, strong voice, even though he's a rookie head coach, look where he took that team. Because, former players have a different way of connecting to the coaches. And not to say, people who weren't former players can't have that same sort of bond, but players like players. It just is what it is. So, that's always kind of been LeBron's staple. I think they got one of the guys. So I'm happy for it. I'm excited. And I think for me, this is a step in the right direction for the Lakers front office. This feels like a good move, and I know the past season we felt like every move was a misstep here, there, everywhere, but this feels like a step in the right direction. It's kind of what we've wanted. It's kind of what we've all kind of been talking about. So I hope this is just step one in a long process of right moves to kind of correct the sins of this past season and put us back into contention.
I think it's a little funny, which brings us to our first stop on the show, to Mr. Charles Barkley, who decided that, it was the right time to destroy the Lakers selection of Darvin Ham, while giving Darvin Ham a compliment in the whole process, saying that he's happy for him, that he paid his dues. You see the quote behind us. He's happy that because he's paid his dues. But if your head coach is almost the same age as your best player, that's going to be an issue. Now, obviously, he's talking about LeBron James, who, is not a spring chicken, and Darvin Ham being a younger up-and-coming head coach. Kwame, you just fucking said he made Doku. He's younger than Darvin Ham, and he's leading his team. Is it because that LeBron is so old? Like, this is the stupidity, and all respect to Chuck, in a statement like that. You're really just saying is that the Lakers aren't going to be good because they're too old. It has nothing to do with who the head coach is. It doesn't matter if they had Mike D'Antoni out there. If you think LeBron's too old to lead a team to a championship, none of this is going to matter. So I think the Lakers have bigger concerns than the age of our head coach. And honestly, I think Lakers fans should even be more excited that they got someone that isn't a crypt keeper and potentially could just drop dead at any moment. So I'm here for Ham being around for a long, long time. What about y'all?
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what happens in season one. But again, the front office still has some work to do to kind of correct some things and set them up to win well. Because hey, you could have the best coach in the world, but if you don't have a complimentary roster, there's still a problem. So the front office still has work to do. But I like step one. They just got to follow up.
Isn't Frank Vogel the same age as Darvin Ham? Yeah, they're both 48,
saying, man. Like,
they're both 48. This is just picking at straws for the Lakers.
I've noticed that
shocker.
All of these, any sports columnist and it's got a TV show or personality that is on ESPN or FS1 or whatever these shows are all day, they are obligated to talk about two things every day: LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers. The NBA Finals is tipping off tomorrow. You have plenty of superstars, ones that's been around for a while, some that are just getting to the finals for the first time. What are they still talking about? Are the Lakers making bad moves at head coaches? LeBron 2-0, X, Y, and Z. We get it, guys. We know. Light bills need to be paid. Mickey Mouse needs his cheese. Wow. I understand. Murdoch needs a new super yacht to commit evil crimes. I get it. Whatever. But please, let's just make the points make sense. Chuck, I'm sorry, brother. That ain't holding up to the win, especially for anyone who follows the Lakers with any closeness to the NBA and seeing the success of all of these young former head coach, former players that are now head coaches. Hell, Jason Kidd is the superstar, the creme de la creme. All of a sudden, right? Yeah. He ain't an old guy either. So I'm here for the youth infusion in the NBA. I'm also here for, I think we're up to half of the NBA head coaches are Black. So, continue to push and make sure that the league is representative of the players and are represented throughout the coaches and front office. It's just representation matters, whether you care about shit like that or not. Representation matters. So shout out to the Lakers for going ahead and getting them a brother as they head coach. Omar, real quick, man, I just wanted to get your thoughts on the Lakers process. Obviously, there were some scary fucking names on that list, including Doc Rivers. That seemed to be more smoke than anything. But other names that have popped up, right? Kenny Atkinson ended up being pretty high at the end of that search, as well as Terry Stotts. names of respectful head coaches in the league, but we just are now finding out that Quinn Snyder is probably not long to stay as the head coach of the Utah Jazz. Do you think, before we move on to our next subject, that the Lakers went about this coaching process correctly, or do you think they could have made some better moves, made moves earlier? What are your thoughts on their process?
No, I actually really like the process. I think they did their due diligence. I think they, asked the right questions. I know a lot of people kind of went crazy about the fact that they were asking about Russell Westbrook, but you need to have contingencies in place. Like, as a place of business, you need to ask the questions that need to be asked, and there could be a avenue where Westbrook is still on the team, and it's important to get those answers. And I did like a lot of the coaches that you mentioned that they went after. I think they were really good choices. Like I said, I think Darvin Ham was the clear high upside, high potential type coach. Aligns with what you were just saying, Kwame, with Ime Udoka. Another coach I just thought about, Willie Green. He's a first year head coach. I think he's an ex-player too. He did really well with the Pelicans. So honestly, like I can't get after the Lakers on that part. Like they did what they had to do. And I think just to echo what everyone is saying is now it's just the front office's job to work with the coach, which didn't really happen in the past with Vogel. They really need to work with Darvin Ham to kind of make sure they build a roster that fits his skill set, and in addition to the assistant coaches that he selects. So I think that's the next important step.
I think most of the franchise has been on the side of, hey, front office, don't F with the head coach's coaching staff, right? But I just want to put it out there. They did give Jason Kidd, who is now the head coach of the Dallas Mavericks, a revitalization, right, to his coaching career. They did bring Phil Handy over from the Raptors, who Lakers fans that's going to be their next outrage if, Darvin Ham decides not to bring Phil Handy on board or back to the Lakers. They're going to blame the front office. I just do want to say the Lakers did put together a couple of solid assistants that they forced upon, I guess, Frank Vogel at the time. But that doesn't necessarily get talked about. So I'm here. I want to see Phil Handy back. I think we're all in agreement to that. So here is one flower, Rob and company, for, that.
I'll add one pushback though, Ricky. The problem from last season, which I think a lot of people were focusing on, is that they promoted their shooting coach, Mike Penberthy, to one of their assistant positions because they lost Kidd. They lost, I think, Lionel Hollins as well. So instead of replacing those, experienced positions, they replaced it with inexperienced folks. And I think that was the problem that a lot of people had. And I agree with that. I see it like, Mike Penberthy does not have any coaching experience outside of the shooting aspect of it. And, we can kind of get into that part of it too. Like we've been at the bottom of the league in terms of free throw shooting. So he isn't really, helping us out
do much. Your job. And then we'll
right. So and then the other part of it too, that was kind of like the cheap thing to do, right? Like you don't have to, give him the same amount of money that you need to give like an actual like a Steve Clifford or Kenny Atkinson I think they also cheapened out on bringing in Scott Brooks. I think we lost out on Scott Brooks because he went to a different coaching staff and he actually, knows how to use Westbrook. So those are I think the pushbacks I would add to that. So that.
Oh no, there's definitely pushback. I just, there are a couple of good at the beginning, if they had totalitarian, control over the coaching staff. There are a couple good names on there. Absolutely, they did not backfill correctly at all.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we are going to look ahead into the future. Darvin Ham's first year as the head coach of the Lakers is going to be heavily tied to Mr. Russell Westbrook. Whether he's here or not, that's going to have a lot of say in how people view his first season as head coach. So we're just going to get into that. Late Night Lake Show. Stick around.
The Late Night Lake Show podcast is sponsored by Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best legal way to play daily fantasy player props in states like California, New York, Texas, and more. You pick 2 to 5 players and an over-under on their projections, and you can win up to 10 times on any entry. The best part is you can mix players from different sports. You can take the over on LeBron combined with the under on Mahomes in the same entry. Prize Picks is the easiest way to play daily fantasy because it's just you versus the projected numbers. Just use our promo code LNLS and any deposit you make can receive 100% instant deposit match up to $100. So go support the brand and go win you some money. It's the best of both worlds. Again, use our promo code LNLS.
All right, y'all. Gun to your head. Is Russell Westbrook a Laker next season?
No.
Okay.
He's not.
He's
So,
not. He doesn't want to
due
be here.
diligence. Dude, this is due diligence that's happening. You have to say these things. You have to leak it out into the public that we're not attaching shit to Russ. Take it or leave it. We'll keep him, goddammit, and save our pennies or figure something else.
You can't show all your cards.
You
Okay.
can't. Yeah.
Now we playing the shrewd lawn game. Okay. It's
all
either
about that.
everything. The folks either say everything with the Lakers gets leaked, or the Lakers are ironclad. Like it changes from season to season depending on the
That's
right.
well, we'll have to see.
We'll have to see. Late Night Lake Show. We're back. We got Omar. We got Kwame. It's Ricky. Now that the Lakers have installed their head coach, and as he looks to fill out his coaching staff, which Adrian Wojnarowski reported he's already begun, getting his feelers out there for names so we can start filling out the staff. All of our eyes in Lakers Nation now quickly shifts to the Russell Westbrook decision. Russ has the first domino. He has the first move to make, opting into 47 million United States dollars. And if everything is saying how the economists are talking about with a recession around the corner, I don't really know if Russ is going to not take that option. Unless somebody thinks between the two of y'all that he might. Do y'all?
Oh, he's taking it, man.
He's gonna
100%.
So now that Russ has taken it, and now the Lakers are virtually out of cap space, well, not necessarily, but you get it. What do they do next? What the hell do they do? Do they keep Russ? Do they say Ham, make it work? Do they try to trade him? And how long do you hold on to those first round picks to attach to him? What's the method of operation right here, guys? How are you going about, if you're the Lakers, this rush trade? Kwame, I know in previous episodes you just say get him the fuck out of here, but is it that simple? Do it no matter what.
Yeah, man. I mean, he's on expiring. He's got to go, man. I don't think for either party they really want him around. Let's be honest. I know the Lakers, it was a bad season. The fit wasn't well. Sure, it may have been a Vogel thing. Obviously, Russ had his comments about Vogel in his exit interview and the final presser after the last game. But
Vogel
clearly
on!
this... Again, he was talking about the fans, the welcome wasn't embracing, all that, yada, yada, yada. I don't think he helped build a better bridge with Lakers fans. If anything, he lit a match to it, threw it on the gasoline, and set it on fire. And I don't think for either party it's healthy. I think they mutually agree this union didn't work, and I think they're going to do whatever they can to make it work. That'd be my guess. And again, it's an expiring deal. I know people think, oh, well, it's still $47 million. There's no way anybody would ever take that deal. This kind of stuff happens all the time. Again, it's an expiring deal. Not every team is playing to win. Not every team is going out there to make trades to win. Some people just want to sell tickets, just make money, just have a continual business. Not everybody's trying to win an NBA championship. I don't think everybody's aware of that, but that's the case. So I don't expect Russ to be back. I really don't. Like you said, gun to my head, I vote no. He won't be on the team. There's a very small possibility he could, but I don't really see a reality where it works. Both parties, I think, have shown that they don't really. It hasn't been a good union. Why torture ourselves for another season, wasting a year of Russ's career, wasting a year of a LeBron window with the Lakers? This just didn't work. Call what it is and let's just move forward.
Omar, do you have a ledge, if you're walking the plank in the Rush trade, is there a point where you're like, all right, okay, let's just start looking at stretching them. Let's just start looking at just outright releasing him. Let's start to try to embracing him in a buyout. At what point do you stop flipping over the stones of let's make a trade and explore, or even do you explore those other options, or do you just swallow that last year of his contract? Pause.
I mean, honestly, we shouldn't have to. I mean, I think we've talked about this a few times. There isn't a quote unquote untradeable contract in the NBA. $47 million, like you just said, seems like a lot of money, but it's not like you have to, like when you're matching up contracts, you don't have to match 100% of that. I think there's a percentage that you need to match up to. I think like 35 million in contract money, but I mean, I'd get it if they're if there's a team, if there are teams that are asking for the first round picks, I can see, getting to that point where like, okay, maybe we ride it out to the trade deadline or some point into the season, but I just don't see a way that that's going to happen because, like you said, there's plenty of teams that don't care about winning. They're just in it for business. They just want to sell tickets, sell seats, and I still think, even though Westbrook may not look like a professional basketball player, there are still plenty of people that absolutely adore Westbrook. Like there's someone on the timeline right now who is, I know he's been on your tweets a bunch, Ricky. Like he loves Westbrook, and there are plenty of Westbrook supporters and fans all over the nation. He can go, to another team, and there's going to be a beehive of Westbrook fans that are going to be, attending those games and buying merchandise, and it's going to work out for both groups, right? The Lakers and Westbrook.
You're so optimistic. Everybody's gonna leave happy. Everybody's just gonna go, they get what they want. No, damn it. That's why I'm pushing on this shit. Somebody go be pissed off, okay? Hopefully for our sake, the only one that's upset about the decision is Russ. But at the same time, I do think, to your point, there will need to be some collaboration in his next destination, or it could really muddy up the waters. And honestly, we're trying to expedite this shit as quick as possible. I agree. Well, I go back and forth weekly on the Lakers being inept and not being able to flip Russ, which honestly would probably be the biggest mistake since trading for Russ that they've made in this era of Lakers basketball.
Yeah, running it back.
But at the same time, it's kind of, I'm hearing everything you guys are saying. It's like, nah, he's going to go. And so I just want to know, I've just been wondering and curious, and let us know how you guys feel. Is there a point in which you're like, nah, let's just go through one more year of hell and in our rookie head coach's first season? And yeah, it's kind of hard to pitch. So
hard, yeah.
We'll keep our hopes high. Again, Russ can opt in. I forget the date. It is June 1st, and I know it can happen this month. So, we're lining up for the dominoes to fall for the Lakers' next moves to be made. So
I think it's the end of June. So by July, he has to opt in.
Mm-hmm. There we go.
Eric Pincus, I think, was reading his article today.
And he can opt in at any time, right?
Yeah, he could show up tomorrow.
Say today,
I'm a Laker for next season.
Crying. Or, help us get this party started, right? Like, officially, I'm opting in, trade me. Okay, great. Yeah, we'll get the streamers and balloons set up.
Just go back to OKC. Do your, welcome tour, whatever it is. We'll take a trade play. What is it? TPE, a player exception. We can figure out what to do with that. Like that would probably be, everyone's happy. If you want to go like the, the optimistic route,
that's the one.
That's the one. Go back to OKC. The fans love you. That's where you first, you started, and I think that's what I'm going to push for on the timeline.
Any
go back,
thoughts
go home to OKC.
We've seen 1.5 million trade scenarios online. Any OKC packages that caught your guys' eye, or if not, we could just cut.
It's always like it involves like Derek Favors and like
Yeah, they're all bad
like- it's
deals.
like,
yeah.
Bad play. But it's the exception that you're really intrigued by because you can use that to get anything.
Unless they're giving Shea, which they're not giving
No,
Shea.
they're not gonna.
So there's nothing to entertain there.
Mm-mm.
Maybe Brooklyn though, but no, that won't happen either.
Oh, good. All right. I mean, everybody
If we're gonna
tap
get
dancing
into it.
around that giant scenario when the Sean Marks and Rob Pelinka were caught making friendlies and having the conversation. Could Kyrie Irving, Russell Westbrook trade be in the mix? Dog, what did we just get done doing all season? All season. What did we just get done doing? Kyrie, the basketball talent, is the most blinding basketball player I think I've ever seen in my life. It's him or James Harden when James Harden was, doing all of his stuff in the regular season and then dying during the playoffs. But Kyrie got folks forgetting quarterly that his ass is not reliable. Like,
With LeBron, he was. He
was
just
with
needs to get back with LeBron. That's it.
then he asked for a goddamn trade.
He made a mistake.
Remember,
He admitted it.
He admitted it. He said if he had the level of
Um,
maturity he had today, they would have won multiple.
Look. The Nets would never take Westbrook, but that trade clear exception that I'm pushing for would definitely work with the Nets. Because hey, look, KD may be up out of there pretty soon. Because if they don't keep Kyrie, there's no reason for KD to be there. They can just blow everything up.
That's facts.
The Nets are going to lick the boot. That's my.
You really come on, man. Where's the optimism?
They're gonna pay Kyrie Irving. Now, I don't.
They gonna pay the part-time player?
Bro. Y'all telling the Lakers to pay the part-time player. So what are we talking about? How the hell
Russ
can
played
Nets
the
get
most
the benefit of the
games.
doubt and we sit up here and say, hey man, they can't, they're off the Kyrie business for legitimate reason. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Dog, Russ played
Lakers
like
fans
almost
say,
every game. What do you
bring
mean
him over to
part-time?
us. We'll figure him. I can fix him.
But Russ played almost every game, bro.
Good dog. Czechoslovakia then. Like, would it be exciting? Would it be another Hollywood season for the Lakers? Yeah, sure. But the heart only has so many beats left in its chest before.
But Kyrie can shoot. That's all. We just need a point guard that can shoot. The last 2 seasons, we decided to not get one of those. I'm just saying. Yeah, I mean, it didn't work. That's why we had the last 2 tough seasons, man.
Then we tried getting Schroeder back. That's the fucking funny part.
Hey, he's in
Anyways.
shambles too.
A lot of funny parts. Dwight
Okay,
Howard
let's-
and 80 almost threw hands in the beginning of the season.
Yeah, what a
The whole
season,
season,
man.
man.
What a
Crazy.
season.
People forget that Rondo and Russ were teammates.
They played on the court at the
NIT.
exact same time, multiple times. That 3 was on the court at the same time at a point in the season. Frank Vogel should have to be locked in Guantanamo Bay.
And with Kurt Rambis.
They should literally have to
Both of
pay
them.
for their crimes.
Yeah.
What a wild season.
Alcatraz.
For real.
He likes
Lock 'em
being
up.
yeah.
Oh gosh.
Fellas, what are we going to do about this damn finals? What are Lakers fans to do? To be honest, normally if the Lakers aren't a part of it, I don't give a shit. Like most things.
Like last season.
Right. Like it was cool to see Giannis win it. Kwame and I went up there for game
yeah.
6.
Game
That was a
6.
vibe, but I wouldn't have given a shit if Phoenix won it. I mean, everybody, Phoenix was Phoenix at the time, so it was nice to see them, eat some pie. But long story short, I usually do not subscribe to basketball in the playoffs if it does not include the Los Angeles Lakers. But this one I have no choice. I've been drugged into this to have an opinion, to have a feeling, to have a team that I want to win and a team that I want to lose. And it has everything to do with them green leprechauns in Boston up the street from Omar and nothing to do with the golden boy, as Kendrick Perkins likes to call him, that light-skinned, green-eyed boy up in Golden State. My guys, I just want it perfectly clear for all listeners of the Late Night Lake Show, all supporters of all of our wonderful personalities along with the brand. that this is an anti-Boston Celtics publication. There is not a scenario where the Celtics would get our support. If it was a game against the Celtics and the Monstars, well, sorry, Michael Jordan. You just going to have to be playing for the rest of your life up there. I guess LeBron James too. Sorry, Kwam. But there are very little scenarios where we want to see the Celtics now retake the lead for all-time championships in NBA history. Omar, can you just entertain the fact of why some Lakers fans want the Celtics to win over the Warriors? Like, I hear the reasons, but they not good enough, man.
No, none of the reasons make sense to me. I saw one. Oh, Tatum is respecting Kobe, and that's his hero. Man, so many of us have Kobe as our heroes. That doesn't mean I'm gonna go support the Celtics because Tatum is being nice to Kobe. Like it's what if Kobe was still here, rest in peace. What would he say? You know that text message that he sent out? Yo, I got you today. You know what he would say? I don't want you winning.
Warriors in
five, right? And honestly, right? Like, I know I get the Steph and the LeBron thing, but Warriors and Lakers have never been good at the same time. Like they've had no, like, aside from I think back in the day when Wilt was on the Warriors, and they had some back and forth then, but that's like way back in the day, right? So in terms of like the light year Warriors and the Lakers of today's times, like we've had no rivalry. So I don't get it. Why would you root for a franchise that is tied with you in banners when you know how hard it is to get there and then to win one? Why? I don't get it.
Kwame, maybe you could shed some light on this. I'm sure LeBron has seen the Warriors plenty over the past 6 years, right? Is that what's fueling this? The whole Steph and LeBron being tied in championships if the Warriors win it again, and Steph fans, jumping out their bodies. Is that what the concern is? A Steph LeBron legacy play? No.
I don't think so. I mean, not to me. I've seen that on the timeline though, but hey man, Steph and LeBron were tied in titles for 2 seasons and nobody batted an eye. Like, it doesn't really matter, in all honesty. Steph could get to 6, and as an individual player, he's not better than LeBron. Like, we got to just keep that in view. So if there's some LeBron fans that are out there that are insecure about his legacy and his position in the pantheon of basketball, there's something wrong with you, because he's solidified. Yeah. He's not getting shaken by Steph Curry. Don't let the Warriors fans on the timeline tweak you out. The history books will not remember it the same as they will talk about it today. So I don't see any reason to root for the Celtics, even as a LeBron fan. I never liked the Celtics. The 2008 team that's still talking about their championship, the multiple run-ins in the playoffs. There's no reason LeBron should have any love for Boston either. So I'm good on it. I'm rooting for the Warriors. Hey, Steph, Draymond, Clay, get y'all 4th ring, man. Enjoy. Wiggins, get your 1st. Poole, congratulations. I don't care. It's really not a big thing to me. So, gun to my head, hey, go Warriors.
What's our predictions, fellas? I'm going Warriors in 6.
I got Warriors in 6 as well.
Yeah, I'm saying Warriors in 6.
Oof.
Spooky 666. And to be honest, if both teams could lose, that'd probably be our pick.
Yes.
If there's a way Jason Tatum can get Finals MVP in a losing effort, that's the kind of chaos that Lakers fans would take as a best case scenario. Jason Tatum, Finals MVP for dropping, 47 a game. But it's just pretty much he put up that LeBron 2018 game 1 numbers every game, and then ends up losing. But LeBron didn't even get Finals MVP in that losing effort. So
he finished 2nd in 2015 though, behind Andre Iguodala. Steph Curry was 3rd.
Folks don't talk about
how many Finals MVP does Steph have?
None. Oh. But he's got a conference Finals MVP.
Wait a second.
So he climbing the ladder.
That back. What?
Oh, sorry.
That Iggy Finals MVP. You want to go through the rankings again and how that standings?
Yeah. Iguodala was first. He won the Finals MVP. LeBron James, who's on the losing team, was in second. Steph Curry was in third place for Finals MVP voting in the year of our Lord 2015.
Wowzers.
Yeah.
Hey,
it's
the
kinda
more
crazy.
you know. I never knew that. I
Oh.
had no idea that's how
Interesting.
that thing crumbled. Hey, shout out Iggy, man. Shout out Kawhi got one of them too. I did my best guarding LeBron MVP. That's what's up. We need more of those. Hey, the NBA got 19 million MVP awards. They might as well come out with I guarded LeBron the best this week MVP
award. Yeah,
You know?
that's fair.
We could
What
probably
are we
record
up
a
to? What
pod
are we up
about
to
just
now?
listing out all the guys.
Regular season
Yeah, right
MVP,
now.
East MVP, West MVP of the conference, All-Star Game MVP, Finals MVP,
Might be the mid-season tournament
the
MVP.
mid-season
Tournament,
tournament MVP.
Preseason MVP. We got an
What do
Summer
MVP
League.
for-
There's a Summer League
Summer
one too?
League.
The
Summer League has one.
And
And
guess
then
what Basketball
preseason
Reference
doesn't-
is doing?
they might as
Listing
well.
all this shit.
Yup,
Just
it's all on their
listing them
resume.
all. So when
Yup.
somebody 12 years from now gets into a fruitless argument about who was better overall, and they point at, oh, well, somebody got the Bob McAdoo Eastern Conference Player of the Year award 3 times, and your guy from the 2000s got 0. And then that's when they get smacked with an anvil upside the head, and the conversation's over. So
Wow.
NBA, you got, less is more, man. Like I love basketball, but I don't need a midseason tournament.
For what?
I love basketball,
Doesn't
but if
add
you shorten the
anything.
first round to 3 to a 5-game series, that shit
Everything-
go crazy.
That'd be
Everything but shorten the damn season. Like everything but just
everything
cut
but-
some games back. Anything else but shorten the season. Like, come on, please. We're seeing the injury. Shorten the season.
Or stop the season right now. Let's call it a year.
That'd be ideal.
Let's call it a year.
Call
I think we've seen enough this
We
NBA
have.
season, right?
Yeah.
that's-
Yeah.
I got nothing
Let's just
left.
pick it back in October.
Yeah, forget it even happened. This is just a practice season.
Yeah.
It
didn't
don't
count.
It was
They
it
don't
was the
count.
Russell Westbrook experiment.
Yeah, it don't
We'll
count.
just go with that.
They don't count.
Pandemic
Nothing about
brings
We do the
it
trade
down.
too. Just pull back that trade. KCP, Kuz.
Yeah, you can't judge the season when Russell Westbrook's on
Tries
the
to come back
Lakers
home.
roster.
That is a fact. You can't judge a Lakers season that has Russell Westbrook on it. So
Can't.
hopefully we don't have to do that next year, gentlemen. But there might be some sacrifices of some draft picks that are currently in 8th or 9th grade right now that
Yeah.
nobody's going to miss. Maybe my kid will miss, Shmush Irving in the 2029 NBA draft. I don't know. Maybe
Slush
that would be the one that the Lakers kick themselves over. But until that day, what do we say, fellas? Fuck
Fuck
them
the
Celtics.
Celtics.
And fuck the
The
Celtics.
Celtics.
Oh, yeah. Both.
Both of them.
Both of them.
I think that'll do it, guys, for this episode on Late Night Lake Show podcast. We can get this one pushed out for you guys before game 1 of the NBA Finals. If you choose not to watch it, I don't blame you. We have a really special episode coming out sometime soon. We did a Lakers Ultimate Draft where we picked teams of 6 of exclusively former Los Angeles Lakers, only using their prime seasons with the team. So that was a lot of fun. We had a lot of great personalities stop by to do that draft. Be on the lookout for that on YouTube. If you're not subscribed to our Late Night Lake Show YouTube, the hell are you doing? Go ahead and do that now. If you're not subscribed to the podcast, again, why do we even try? What are we even doing here? Kidding. Just make sure that you're subscribed on the podcast. And wherever you get your premium Lakers content, we will be there. So for the gang, for Kwame, for Omar, for Cancun, which we are still residing in, it's Ricky. We'll catch you guys next week. Late Night Lake Show. Peace.
Peace.